okay? So basically, zero product property says if A times B is 0, then A has to be 0 or B has to be 0. So for this right here, I'm multiplying two things. I'm multiplying an x and an x plus 9. If they multiply to be 0, either x is equal to 0 or x plus 9 is equal to 0. And so you set it equal to 0 and you solve. And so I can find my solutions to my quadratic. I know my solutions are going to be -9 and 0. This next one, again, you identify the two things that are being multiplied. You see that there's no addition or subtraction. So I know either x minus 3 is equal to 0 or x minus 7 is equal to 0. So I solve both of these. My solutions for this would be x equals 3 or x equals 7. And those are my solutions. Okay. We're just going to do just a couple problems where you factor to solve. So for this first one, I don't have three terms here. I do have a greatest common factor of 4x. So I factor out of 4x, and that's going to be x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I have my two things, my two factors that I'm multiplying. Either 4x is equal to 0 or x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x could be 0 or x could be 2. This one is not two terms, so I'm going to go through and factor. I'm just going to be using the box method just because I want consistency. So for this here, the first thing I would have to do is factor. Okay, so I have to find two numbers. They have to multiply to be 1 times -12, which is -12, and they have to add to be -1. You can use Desmos, but it ends up being -4 and +3. So greatest common factor is x, greatest common factor is -4. This is going to be 3. So my factored form for this is going to be x minus 4 times x plus 3. But remember that for these, we have it set equal to 0. Okay, so we have to do one more step. We set each factor equal to 0, and we solve. And so my solutions, and I should be writing this properly each time, you use these funny little brackets. You can find them above the enter symbol, -3, 4. Okay, and then for these, this would be 0, 2. Just going to do one more of these because it's really not much more than what we've been doing. For this one here, first thing I do is I factor, then I set the factors equal to 0, and I solve. So this is 6x squared. This is -4. I'm looking for two numbers. They multiply to be -24 because it's 6 times -4, and they add to be 5. So you can go to Desmos, negative, so it's -24 and 5. If you can't think of them, it's where the graphs intersect. It's going to be 8 and -3. So this is going to be 8x, this is -3x. I find my greatest common factor for my row, which is going to be 3x. My greatest common factor for this row is 4. Here, this is 2 and x. This is going to be -1. So my factors are going to be 3x plus 4 times 2x minus 1. But I remember that I'm solving is set equal to 0. So then I use my factors to solve. I know 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to -4/3, or 2x minus 1 would be equal to 0. X would be 1/2. And so I just write that -4/3 and 1/2. Because you can have nasty answers. And that's how you